One. Let's try this again. This is class of 2019, right? Good morning, everyone. This is the first class of the Bright Tuesday. Welcome, everyone. My name is Miss Brandy, and I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Well, I graduated from Shaker, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. And I came all the way home just to speak with you young, bright minds today. And we're going to have an amazing hour today, but we're going to set intention for today. So I want everybody to get relaxed, settled in. Go ahead and put your book bags up underneath the chair or next to you, or there's some room on the counters. The first thing that I need you guys to do is to pull out a pen, a piece of paper, some writing utensils, because this is going to be an interactive workshop. So make sure that you're getting comfortable, because we're going to get up and move around a little bit today. And as you're settling in, I'm going to help you guys set intention. There is some information that is in front of you. There's two packets of information. The first one is a Connect card. I would like for you guys to start filling this out as voluntary. However, if you fill this out, as well as the survey at the end, I have some gifts for you. Number two, there should be a packet of information for you as well. We're going to go through this packet today. A lot of you all already have this information because you're thinking about college. Some of this will be a refresher. Some of it will be new and introduced to you. When you start to complete this Connect card, fold it in half and raise it over your hand, and we will have my lovely interns come pick up the information. I'd like to first introduce my interns to you all, which is my mom and dad. This is Mr. Hicks, and my mom is Mrs. Hicks. Yes, I am a grown adult, and my parents still support me to this day. So two things. Make sure that you have a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, raise your hand, and one will be distributed to you. So go ahead and fill this out, and we're going to get started. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? Welcome. Please take a seat, and we'll make sure we get some information to you guys. All righty. So when I get into my workshops, before we even start, we like to set the 4 agreements. So there's 4 agreements. In the safe space, we're going to start talking about college. We're going to start talking about our feelings and our thoughts about it. So number 1, there's no judgment. So anything that you say in this space, we're not going to judge you on your questions or comments. Number 2, there's no such thing as a stupid question. If you have a question, please feel free to raise your hand and say, Miss B, Miss Brandy, I have a question. Number 2, you're going to kiss your brain today. How many of you all know how to kiss your brain? No? All right, I'm going to teach you how to kiss your brain. Everybody raise your right hand. Everybody raise your right hand. Now, plant the biggest kiss you possibly can on your hand. Kiss your hand. Now stick it right there on your forehead. You're kissing your brain. Let's try that again. Raise your right hand. Everybody raise your right hand. We got to all be in agreement. Kiss your hand and stick it on your forehead. And the reason why I tell you guys to kiss your brain, because you guys have been working really, really, really hard. And the biggest muscle in your body is your brain. I could be wrong. This is environmental science schools. It's probably eyes. Well, you use this a lot. So you want to celebrate yourself and all of the hard work that you do. And number 4, we're always going to practice unconditional love. That means please don't talk when other people are talking, including myself, and we show that type of unconditional love by respecting each other's space. Is everybody in agreement? Yes? If we're in agreement, everybody raise your right hand, kiss your palm of your hand, and stick it on your forehead. All right, let's ride out. Okay, we are going to talk about who I am and a little bit about college. So I just told you that I'm from Shaker Heights, Ohio, and I am a grant writer and a nonprofit consultant. Does anybody know what that is? No. Okay. So does anybody know what a nonprofit is? Or a charity? Yes, sir. A little bit, yes.
Is it like a job that's not based
Yeah, a little bit. So have you guys ever heard about the United Way, or when you're feeding the homeless, or an animal shelter, or possibly a church, somewhere that you have to volunteer your time? Has anybody ever volunteered before? Yes. So if you volunteered before, it was for a nonprofit organization. So what I do on a weekly basis is that I write book reports about 80 to 100 pages about this big. And in writing, I send it off to the government or corporations or different wealthy people. And in writing, I ask them for money to give to deserving communities and people that are in need of those people's money. So, and I manage billions of dollars of other people's money. But my story did not start like that. I was a high school senior at Shaker, and about right after Christmas, I woke up with a nasty disease called senioritis. How many of you all have heard senioritis before? No one has heard about senioritis? Senioritis is this kind of feeling that happens around senior year where you just get tired and lazy and you don't feel like completing your homework or studying, and you start wearing sweatpants and you really don't care, you're over it because you're ready to graduate. And so my GPA went from a 2.5 all the way down to a 1.99999, and I think my counselor just rounded it up, because if I had failed high school, I would still be on punishment today, because my dad was a principal at like 15 different schools here in Cleveland, and so I'd still be on punishment today. But it wasn't that I wasn't smart. I just didn't have a plan of what life and learning looked like after high school. But I knew what I was great at. I was great at helping other people and giving back. How many of you all already know what you're great at or what you love to do as a hobby? What are you great at, young lady? I'm sorry? Reading. Awesome. Who else knows what they're great at? Yes, sir. Working with animals. How many of you all are great at working with animals? Raise your hand. See, you already know what you're great at. How many of you all know that you're great at science or helping other people? See, you already know what you're great at. And so, because I knew what I was great at, that's the definition of senioritis. That's when you get lazy, wearing track pants, lazy. How many of you all have experienced senioritis in your juniors? Thanks for being honest. And so, when I graduated, these images are really distorted. When I graduated from Shaker Heights High School, I had no clue what I was going to be, but I knew what I was good and great at. I was good at giving back and helping others. And so me and my best friend, there was a picture on the right, I don't know where it went. She and I didn't know what we were going to do. She was good at medicine and helping other people. I was good at sitting in the back of the classroom, running my mouth and helping other people. Fast forward to us becoming adults, we're on a 17-hour flight to Australia. I speak around the world talking to young people about how to create a plan of life and learning after high school. She's one of the most brilliant doctors in Chicago. So it's not where you start, it's how you continue in this race. And so when I got down to the University of Cincinnati, I am a Bearcat, I packed my senioritis. And I went to college supposedly for history, but I majored in everything else that I wasn't supposed to. I went to all of the parties, I cut class, I didn't do my homework, I did everything that my parents did not send me to go to college to. But I still kept volunteering and serving and giving back. But when I graduated from Cincinnati, I moved down to Atlanta. And the best thing, young people, is that when you relocate to another city or to another community, or when you go off to college, or you start a new job, is to start volunteering. Why? Because there's other like-minded people that want to volunteer like you, and you may meet your next job opportunity. And as I was volunteering, somebody tapped me on my shoulder and said, you know what, you're really good at volunteering. Have you ever thought about a job of helping other people give back? And I said, who, me? Wait, I got a failing grade in math and English my senior year. I barely got out of undergrad at the University of Cincinnati. And you want me to go back to school? And she said yes. And so I tried it. And within 18 months, this student in high school that got a failing grade in math and English her senior year with a 1.999 GPA graduated in 18 months with 2 masters. I got a master's in business administration and marketing and a master's of public administration and nonprofit management, graduating with honors. So when you graduate from high school, your education doesn't stop with a period. It's a comma to continue on some type of educational path. And so about a year and a half ago, one of my best friends tapped me on the shoulder again and said, you know what? Have you ever thought about going back to school? And I said, have you heard my story? I had a failing grade at math and English my high school year. I barely got out of undergrad. I did okay in master's, but you mean to tell me I got to think again? And she said, yes, let's try it. And so currently, I am a doctoral student at Northeastern University getting a doctorate in organizational development. So again, students, it's not that 1.999 GPA. It's not that failing grade in math or English. It is how you continue your education when you leave high school. And so what happened is that I started in my career in Atlanta giving back and helping other people connect their personal resources to communities and organizations where they wanted to give more of their time, money, and talent. So here's a couple of pictures of some of my clients in Atlanta, which has allowed me to tour the world and see a lot of different people, places, and things doing something I was great at. I love to talk and run my mouth, and I love to give back to others. And I've had an amazing career serving others in the community. And so, but I knew that there were young people just like me that needed a plan of what life and learning looked like after high school. So I created a book called The 10 Things You Need to Complete Your College Education, The 10 Things You Need to Complete Your College Application, to help students that were just like me trying to figure it out, to just go through a check step of if I had 10 things and I could check it off, then I would be done with the process and it would be easy. So today we're going to go through real quickly what those 10 things are, but really deep dive into number 7, which we'll go through in just a second, as well as start looking for scholarships. How many of you guys are excited about learning how to go through the college application process and write a bomb essay? How many of you all want to learn that today? Awesome. All right. So we're going to go through these steps pretty quickly, because I really want to spend some time to do a magic trick for you guys with a college essay. So number 1 is official high school transcript. How many of you all know the difference between an official and an unofficial transcript? Awesome. This is a learning moment. An unofficial transcript is if you go to Ms. McCroskey or another counselor and they print out your transcript and hand it to you, that's an unofficial transcript. Why? Because number 1, it may not have the most up-to-date grades, and it doesn't have a signature on it. And so what happens is that you can use that just for informational purposes, but when it's time to apply for college, you need an official high school transcript. It may have a signature on it. It may have a stamp on it. It can come in an envelope sealed where you can't open it, or it comes electronically from the high school to the college or wherever you're directing it to. So that's the difference between unofficial and official transcript. Number 2, standardized tests and state graduation requirements. You've seen these before between the PSAT, the SAT, the ACT, and the AP exams. As you guys know, at the end of the year, you guys are taking tests in order to pass to the next grade, as well as there are graduation requirements that you need for the state of Ohio to pass on to the next grade as well as to graduate. How many credits do you need in order to graduate from high school? How many do you need? 22. Do you need community service hours to graduate here?
Well, as a part of your senior seminar, they have to do 40, but the new high school requirements, one of the pathways that they can take is to get 140 hours in community service.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you guys know how many credit hours you need in order to graduate. So that's number 2, standardized tests and state graduation requirements. You guys got to stay on top of what your graduation, I'm sorry that says Georgia because I just did a presentation on Saturday, but you guys need to make sure that you stay in contact with your counselor, and we'll talk about how important that relationship is in just a moment. College tuition, application fees, and deposits. As you guys know, college costs. When you go to public high school, all of this is free because when we buy things like water, there's tax. Those taxes pay for the lights and the teachers and the Wi-Fi and everything else that comes in school. But when you go away to college, you have to pay for that. How many of you all go to the grocery store or shop with your parents, and at the end of your grocery shopping, there's a long receipt? How many of you all have seen that receipt, right? And it's itemized by chips and grapes and cereal and milk, and there's a price right next to it, and then there's a total. That's just like college tuition. All of these things and more are included in your college tuition, so you want to make sure that you're going over that list to understand how much college costs. There's also college application fees. They start around $35, but if you receive free and/or reduced lunch, you can receive a waiver to get that fee waived, because if you're applying to college, it gets kind of expensive at times, and so you want to make sure that you're finding ways to reduce that cost. Also, there's something called a commitment and housing deposit. How many of you all are old enough to know what layaway is? Awesome. What is layaway? Yes, that's exactly what this means with commitment and housing deposits. It's kind of like layaway. When you say yes to a college, they're going to ask you, some colleges ask you, put something down on it. Give us a deposit to let us know that you'll be in the seat as a freshman as well as a bed in the dorm room. It ranges sometimes from $250 to $500, but you want to check with your college, because if you miss that deadline, you'll jeopardize your seat in the classroom as well as your dorm space. Number 4, high school counselor and school evaluation. There's 3 people that help you get to college. I'm not a Delta and I'm not throwing up the rock sign, but who are the 3 people that get you to college? Who's number 1? Yourself. Who's number 2? Your counselor. Who's number 3? Your parent. The most important relationships that you're going to have outside of the household is your counselor when you're going through the college application process. True story, my brother's best friend, Lane, she applied to a couple of different colleges, one being Columbia, one being Howard. She turned into her counselor her request to get her transcript forwarded. She did what she was supposed to do on time. She went on about her business. When the springtime came around to hear about acceptance, she didn't hear back from her college. She called the college and she said, well, what happened? I didn't hear from them. They said, sorry, we didn't get your transcript. Try again next year. Hung up the phone on her. She ran back to her counselor's office and said, counselor, I thought that I turned in my information on time. What happened? The counselor looked through her stack of papers and said, sorry, I overlooked it. Now, every time I tell that story, everybody starts, oh, it's the counselor. People make mistakes and things happen. But as an adult, you all are young adults. If you ask someone to do something on your behalf, you have to follow up and check to make sure that those things get to the final destination. Because sometimes when you push send, things don't transmit. Sometimes when you mail things, they don't get to the end receiver. And so as young adults, you have to follow back and check to make sure that things are completed. Number 5, letter of recommendation. How many of you all know what a letter of recommendation is? Awesome. What's a letter of recommendation? Yes, it is a letter that someone writes for you on your behalf that tells them how awesome you are. So what's an example of who would write a letter of recommendation for you? Yes. Your teacher. So I saw a hand over here. Guidance counselor. I saw another hand. Yes. A teacher that likes you, yes. A professor, who else? Employer, yes. Anyone else? Possibly a coach, maybe a pastor, someone that has spent enough time. Yes, you had a recommendation? A mentor, yes. Someone that has spent a little bit of time with you that could actually speak on behalf of how awesome you are. No family members with the same last name should be writing a letter of recommendation for you, because auntie and mommy are always going to write highly about their kids. So number 6 is student autobiography. This is when you write about yourself in third person. Some colleges will say, well, write us an autobiography about who you are. And so that's what it is when you're telling it about yourself. We're going to come back to number 7, which is the college essay, and I'm going to show you guys a magic trick. But with a college essay, you want to make sure that you're following the directions and pick a topic that you like. Number 8, community service. Ms. McCroskey just talked about community service and how many hours that you need to graduate or get special consideration for scholarships. But you want to find an opportunity that you actually enjoy. So I saw some of you guys raise your hand that says that you like working with science and animals. So you may want to connect with an animal shelter or somewhere, possibly the Cleveland Metropolitan Zoo, so you can get your hours in. And make sure that you're not serving alone. So maybe you want to connect with 2 or 3 of your homeboys or homegirls, and you guys go together and make it a great experience. And then you possibly could ask for a letter of recommendation if you're volunteering more than one time. Financial aid and scholarship documentation. Have you guys heard of the word FAFSA before? Yes. Awesome. So that's the free application to apply for the student loans from the Department of Education. The application is free, but the money is not. And so this is when that you're asking, you're connecting with your counselor and your parent, and you're completing this information. Now, you can pay for school straight cash out of your pocket, scholarships. What are loans? Yes. Exactly. Money that you borrow that you have to pay back. What is a grant? Yes. Correct. Grant starts with the letter what? Gifts start with the letter what? Grant is a gift that you don't have to pay back. However, some grants and some scholarships require for you to continue to earn it. Like for those people that are student athletes, you may be eligible for 4 years, but you got to earn it every semester. So you may require attendance, GPA, and possibly volunteer hours. And number 10 is the college application submission process. Again, that is with your counselor to make sure that you are getting the information to the college. So those are the 10 things, and that is what is on page number 1 and 2 that you guys have seen in your packet. We're going to jump into an exercise called College is for Me. Now, let's take a quick pause. Has anybody completed their Connect forms or their Connect cards that look like this? All right, go ahead and fold them real quick and slide them to the person on the inside aisle. And my mom/intern is going to come pick it up from you. And I want you guys to turn to the page that says College is for Me. And the reason why this exercise is really, really important is because sometimes as we're thinking about the college application process, we may have some questions about, like, is really college for me? How many of you all, just by a show of hands, think that college is for you? Raise your hand. Awesome. How many of you all think that college is not for me? And it's okay. Thank you for being honest. And so we're going to go through an exercise real quick about thinking about, is college for me? And so there's 3 different columns, and I'm going to try to pull this up. We've been having some tech issues, so bear with us. So as you are looking at this college is for me, I want you to take a look at the college is not for me. And I want you to think about, could you possibly be hearing this language from yourself? Maybe you may be saying, I won't be able to make new friends, or my grades aren't good enough to get accepted, or I'll get homesick, or maybe it's a money reason. Maybe you'll say that my family doesn't have enough money to send me, or if I don't know if I'll have enough money to get through year 2, or maybe it's your community. Maybe you've heard like, well, who do you think that you are? You think you're better than me because you're going to college, or none of us went to college and we made it, so why do you think that you need to make it? And so what I want you to do for the next 30 seconds or next minute is that I want you guys to think about, if you've ever thought college is not for you, there is a Post-it note in front of you. I want you to take one of the Post-it notes, and if you've ever had a thought, if college is not for you, I want you to write what you're reasoning down. Is it something that you're telling yourself? Is it something financial? Is it something that you're hearing about your community? You could even use the examples that I provided you. Now, when you write on that little Post-it, I think she's coming around with the Post-it. When you write on that Post-it, what is your reason why of one thought that you thought about college is not for me? When you finish that sentence, there's a Post-it note in the back. Everybody turn around and look. There's a Post-it note in the back that says, college is not for me. Once you write down why you may think college may not be for you, even though you do think college is for you, I want you to write your note down. Do not put your name on it. And I want you to stick your Post-it note back there where it says, college is not for me. You've got 30 seconds to write down whatever thought that you may be thinking about. College is not for me, and walk with intention to the Post-it. Yes, ma'am.
Do I have to write it if I do one of those ones?
Yes, you do. Have you ever thought like, I don't know about college, or if you're having, maybe it's not college is not for me. Maybe you're thinking like, well, how am I going to pay for it? Or how am I going to live away from home? Or how am I going to figure out what school it is? Or if you've ever had any negative thoughts about college, anything associated with that. And when you finish your Post-it, go ahead and put it right there on the wall. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You don't have to put your name on it. This is totally anonymous. You can put it anywhere. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, I'm walking over there too. 2, 1. Anybody else want to put anything up there? All right. You can continue to put up there if you're still in mid-sentence. So I'm going to read some of these, and you do not have to identify it was you. It's okay. All right. I thought I didn't want to go to college because I don't know if I want to go back to school. How many of you all think like, I don't even know if I want to go to college because that requires me to think again? How many of you all may think that? Be honest. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I want you to raise your hand high. Now, those of you all, keep your hand high. Those of you all that have raised your hand, I want you to look around at the other people who have raised their hand. Raise your hand. Because you're not alone. Remember I told you you're not alone in this process, that if you're brave enough to share your voice, somebody else is going to use your voice as well. Somebody else says, I can't pay for college, it's too expensive. Raise your hand if you ever thought the cost of college is expensive. Raise your hand. I want you guys to look around with your hands raised and understand your thoughts about college, you're not alone. Thank you for sharing. I don't want to go right away. Some people may think, I think I need a year off just to get my head on. Raise your hand if you may think like I just need like a 15-minute break. Now look around. Look around. You're not by yourself. Thank you for sharing. My family will never be able to afford it. Raise your hand if you thought about that your family may not be able to afford it. Raise your hand. Hi. Look around. Look around. You're not alone. Now, I want you to flip on the other side and pull out another Post-it note. Everybody got another Post-it note? Because this is going to make sense in like 3 minutes, I promise you. On the second Post-it note, I want you to think about all of the reasons why you know college may be an option for you, or if you're not going into college, if you're going straight into the workforce, or if you're going into the military, but you know that you're going into some type of leadership program where you're going to advance your awesomeness. College doesn't always mean a traditional 2 or 4 year setting. It could be you going into a leadership program for career development, but you got to advance your awesomeness. So you got another 30 seconds to write down one reason of why you think college is for you, or why you know that you need to advance your awesomeness. When you're finished writing that, I want you to move with intention and post it here where you see college is for me. You got 30 seconds. Why do you think college is for you? Ma, we need some more Post-its. That's why you got to cut them in half. Why do you think college is for you? Or why do you think that you need to advance your awesomeness of going into a career, possibly getting into a management program. Management means more money. Once you've written down your statement, pass it to a friend or move with intention and go ahead and post it up there. Guys, got about 20 seconds. Maybe you'll think that you'll make new friends in college, or you can get a part-time job on the weekends or on campus, or you'll research grants and scholarship opportunities, or you could set an example for your friends, or your scheduled time to go back home. Because I went to Cincinnati and I was on the Greyhound every weekend that I could get home because I missed home. About 15 seconds. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Any other Post-its? All righty. You can bring them up. I'm going to start reading them. Thank you for posting that up. Now, let's start reading. I want to be a nurse, and I want a successful career. How many of you all want to go to college so you can get an opportunity to have a successful career? Raise your hand. Awesome. Look around. Look around. Look around. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Let's see. The next one is I could help myself find a career in the future. That's just the same thing. More money. How many of you all want to go to school because it equates to an opportunity to get more money? Awesome. Look around. Look around. Somebody else says to give back to the world. Ooh, that's a juicy one. Raise your hand if you want to go back to college because you want to give back and you want to contribute more than what you're contributing. Awesome. Look around. Look around. One more. Expand my knowledge. I love that. How many of you all just want to go to college just to learn more? I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I love to learn. Awesome. Look around. And the reason why we do these two things is because every freshman has a 3 a.m. conversation with themselves. Every freshman. You're going to have to make a choice at 3 a.m. Are you going to do that English paper, or are you going to close the book, go to sleep, or go to the club? Every night there is a party in college, probably 3. And when you're feeling down about yourself, or you're not getting the grades that you want to, or you're adjusting and you are a little bit of homesick, every last one of those things that you put on that wall over there is going to creep up in your head at 3 o'clock in the morning. But when you start programming your mind and speaking positivity into yourself, you're going to start remembering this at 3 o'clock in the morning. All of you all that came up here to put a Post-it note, this is what's going to fuel you through a 3 a.m. decision. Am I worth it? You know that you already are worth awesoming and advancing your awesomeness. Going to college is attainable. Going into a career and getting into that leadership is attainable. It's not a period after your diploma. It's a comma. So give yourselves a round of applause. Awesome. All right, we're going to do a magic trick. How many of you all need some help with college essay writing? Raise your hand. Ooh, yes. All right. I'm going to do a magic trick. There's a page in there that has a number 7 on there that says college essay. And so this is a brainstorming activity. How many of you all get into the college essay process and just get to your laptop, tablet, and get to writing? How many of you all go straight to the computer and start writing? Raise your hand. Awesome. How many of you all that do that process to get on the computer and start writing get stuck maybe paragraph 1 or 2, like, now what am I writing about? Raise your hand. Awesome. Thank you for being transparent. Now, I need you to put that. Unconditional love, a part of that is that I need everybody to put your cell phones in your pocket or your book bag. The world is not coming to an end. If it is, an alarm will go off, and I'll make sure everybody gets out here safely. So for unconditional love, everybody put your cell phones up, not on your lap, not hidden, because this is good information, because I'm going to rescue somebody today with a college essay. Now, I'm going to help you brainstorm your college essay because a lot of students get stuck in the college application process. I can fill out the application, I can take the ACT or the SAT, I can get my transcript, but this college essay is the difference between people applying and finishing and those who don't. And I'm going to teach you a surefire way from this 1.999 student that got a failing grade in math and English that now writes $1 million proposals and manages other people's money. So if I learned this, you all can too. And so with college essays, what happens is that you got to start outlining things first before you start writing it, because when you get into college, your writing capacity is going to expand. So what I want you guys to do, on the back of your packet, there is a yellow piece of paper. I want you guys to draw 5 lines across your sheet. Oh, I should have drew it myself. I want you to draw 5 lines across your sheet that looks like this, long ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to write it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks just like that. Just divide it in 5. It doesn't have to be even. Now, at the top of each column, I want you to write the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. Got it? Awesome. Now, when you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I want you to write what are the sections of a 5-paragraph essay? Intro. Body what? Body 1. Body 2. Body 3. What's the last one? Conclusion. So I want you to break it down like this. So each column, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you need a pen, sir? You want a pen? Are you here today? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, who may be struggling with, no, I'm not going to ask that just yet. So we're going to think about, now I want you to turn back to that page number 7, because we're going to start. If you need to rip off the last page, you can for this, because I know that it's kind of back and forth, but it's in the last section. But I want you to put one answer in each one of these sections that we're going to go through. It says 7 at the top. If you weren't in school right now, besides sleeping or playing, you can play video games. Besides sleeping, what would you be doing right now? Go ahead and write one answer in your worksheet. What would you be doing if you were not in school right now? One answer. Everybody got their answer? Yep, you're going to write it right here. If you weren't in school right now, one answer. The second one, what do you want to be when you grow up? One quick answer. You can put as many as you want to. The third one, where do you see yourself in 1 year? Where do you see yourself in 1 year? Number 4, what is your favorite summer memory? I don't know if some of you may have traveled somewhere. Maybe you all have attended a special summer camp of your interest. Maybe you all got a job for your first time. One favorite summer memory. All right, who wants to share one answer from number 1? Yes, sir. Gaming, awesome. Number 2, who wants to share something about where do you want to be when you grow up? I haven't heard from you. In the middle, yes.
Defense lawyer.
Defense lawyer, awesome. Number 3, where do you see yourself in 1 year? Yes, ma'am. Graduating high school, awesome. Number 4, describe a favorite summer memory. Anyone? Yes, ma'am. Your friend living with you. Pretty cool. All right. Anybody else want to share a favorite summer memory? Yes. Making your, ooh, I like that. What about you, young man? Yes. You went to what? A Drake concert. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. I'm going to do a magic trick. Who wants me to do a magic trick? Only one person wants me to do a magic trick? All right. What did you list as your favorite summer memory? Hanging with your boyfriend. Awesome. Anybody else want to share their favorite summer memory? Yes, sir. Chess camp. Interesting. Did you say chess camp? Checks. You went to work. Awesome. Where did you work? Center for Arts and Inspired Learning. Awesome. Do you mind if I do a magic trick with you? Use you as an example? Awesome. Tell me your name, young man. Demetrius, Mr. Davis. Am I spelling your name right? I'm sorry, speak up just a little bit. Let him use his own voice. Could you spell your name for me, please? That's it? Dimitri. I'm sorry, I thought you said Demetrius. I'm sorry. All right, so what I want you guys to do is I'm going to use him as a magic trick, but I want you to use your own yellow sheet for your own experience. So in the first column in the introduction, what I first want you guys to do is to pick one of the 4 that you would like to outline today, just for your essay. Any one of the answers that you guys just wrote down, I want you to choose one of those that you're going to write about today. I want you to highlight it, star it, where we just went through. I want you to mark which one that you're going to write about. I'm going to use him as an example, but you're going to outline your own. Are we in agreement? Awesome. All right, so Dimitri, I want you to tell me everything that you can tell me about your summer experience. As he's telling me everything about his favorite experience, whatever you chose as your subject, I want you to brain dump in a bullet form in the introductory section of your column 1. So in column 1, this column here, I would just want you to brain dump and bullet point. Not writing full sentences, but brain dump. Tell me everything about this summer job. What was the name of it? Okay, I may need you to come up front and stand here because something is blowing over here and I can't hear. You said it's what? Center for what? Arts Inspired Learning. Okay. And when did you work this? June to August, last summer? All right. Each one of you all should be thinking about 3 to 5 bullet points in that first column. Okay, June to August 2017. All right. Was that your first job?
Yes.
All right. I want you to get as detailed as possible. It was your first job. What was your job title?
Game design.
Awesome. Game designer? Do you like games?
Yes.
What do you like about games?
They take away stress.
Take away stress. What else?
They're fun.
What else?
They bring people together.
Bring people together. Now, y'all know I got a failing grade in math and English, so if I misspell some words, don't laugh at me. No judgment. All right. Why did you apply for this job?
Because my school mentor, I guess you could call him, wanted me to do it. They also wanted me to make money, so yeah.
Did you have to take the bus or did you drive?
With my first check, I got a bike so I could ride down it.
Awesome. Anything else you want to tell me about this experience?
Well, I made a lot of friends.
You made a lot of friends. Awesome. Anything else you want to share about this?
At the end of it, we put on a show for everybody.
So everybody should have in their first column a data brain dump of everything that they're going to write about. Put on a show for
Everyone, like the community.
awesome. Now, what I want you to do is out of your first column, I want you to think about, no, don't leave. Grab a chair. Grab that one. We're not done with the magic trick. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about what are going to be the 3 topics that you're going to talk about in the college essay. So I love where you're talking about that it takes away the stress. Do you game at home? What's your favorite game at home? Let him use his voice. Warframe? Awesome. That's your favorite? Okay. That this was your first job, and that I like where you said that you bought a bike with your first check. All right. Your 3 topics that you're going to talk about, you're going to star in your first column the 3 topics that you're going to talk about. So, column 1, we're going to talk about that this is going to be your first job. The second, are we done? Okay, good. The second one, we're going to talk about how it takes away stress. And the third one is that you bought, you said a bike? Now, in each one of your columns, I want you to put in column 2, 3, and 4 what your 3 topics are. Take a moment and do that. And now we're going to go back to our body paragraph. You always want to start from the inside out because it's easier to start your essay in the middle when you know what you're talking about and then go back and write the introduction. So body 1, tell me everything about this being your first job. You said your mentor introduced you. Tell me about the interview. Were you nervous?
Very.
How did you prepare? Did you practice?
I took a few deep breaths and then I went in.
Did you get the job at the first try?
Yes.
How did you feel?
Great.
That's it? Did you feel excited?
Accomplished.
I felt accomplished. So you want to make sure that you are being as detailed as possible just with bullet points, right? So you want to make sure that you have 3 to 5 bullet points in each one of your columns. So your first job, your mentor introduced you, you were nervous, you took a few deep breaths, and when it was over, you felt excited and accomplished, right? Body number 2. What about gaming takes away the stress?
Well, it puts you in the place of what you want to do.
Did you teach kids anything about Warframe when you were working there?
I did not. That's a game I didn't really work on.
Okay.
The one that I played.
What about the game that you worked on at your job?
Well,
Did you make any games or did you do any instruction?
Yeah, I made one.
What was the name of the game?
Health Naps.
You said what?
Health Naps.
Spell it.
PUPNAPPED.
All right. In body paragraph 2, I want you to think of 3 to 5 bullet points of how you would describe that one topic. What else about gaming takes away your stress? What else about it?
It makes you forget about all the problems in the world.
What else? Anything about gaming that you like?
It can also make time go by.
Awesome. Body paragraph 2, 3 to 5 bullet points. Got it? Body 3. You bought the bike with your first check. Tell me how you felt about your first check.
Great.
Did you cash it? Did you open up a bank account?
I cashed it.
What was the name of the bike? What kind of bike?
I don't exactly remember, but it was a mountain bike.
Where did you ride to?
Down Tri-C where I work.
Did you take it every day?
Yes.
Did you feel independent? Anything else you want to share about that bike? Do you still have it today?
Yeah, I still have it. It helped my mom save some gas money because she took me until I got my first check.
And you said, and would you say it saved your mom money and something about today?
Yeah, she took me there until I got my bike.
Does everybody have their 3 to 5 bullet points for their column 3? So the idea of this is for you to make sure that each one of your columns has about 2 to 3 bullet points, and I'll show you how this all ties in. Your conclusion is going to summarize all 3 of your paragraphs. So if this is a college essay, we're going to tie this into why you want to go to college, right? Because college essays, they ask you a little bit about who you are and how you play in this world and how it relates to college. So you want to keep in mind is that how does my experience fit into college? Now, how do you feel about going to college? You think it's scary? Are you ready for it?
But yeah, I'm ready.
What college do you want to go to?
Unity.
Unity? Now, I'm going to talk through your conclusion as I am walking through this section. I'm going to speak your college essay into your conclusion. You ready? All right. My name is Dimitri, and the first job that I ever got was at the Center for Arts Inspired Learning. I had it last in my sophomore year because I was introduced by my mentor because he thought that it would be a great opportunity because I love gaming and I needed a first job. And this was an opportunity for me to make lots of friends in doing something that I love because I love gaming. One of my favorite games is Warfare. And so at my first job, my mentor introduced me to this job. I was nervous for the interview, but I took a few breaths and I made it through the interview and it went well. I was excited and accomplished because I got the job. I really do like gaming in the job that I worked at because gaming is an opportunity for me to relieve stress and forget about the worries of the world. It allows time to pass by as I'm trying to figure out my life as a high school student and transitioning into college. On my first job, with my first check, I bought a bike with the money. It felt really good to get my first check. When I cashed it, I was responsible and I bought a mountain bike. This gave me my own independence to ride back and forth to work because my mom was taking me until I was able to pay for my bike. I felt independent and I felt free. My first job. But just like my first job, I am going to feel accomplished when I get accepted because I know that it's going to feel uncomfortable, but I know how to deal with stress and interacting with new people just like my job. And I think that I'm probably going to go into some type of gaming or engineering because that is my interest and I love my passion. And I'm going to be responsible with my first opportunity just like I was responsible with my first check. I think that I'm going to be an awesome freshman on your campus just like I was an awesome first employee at Center for Art-Inspired Learning. Does that sound like a college essay that is worthy of submission? Awesome. You just wrote your college essay. That's how easy a college essay is. Do you guys get it? Some of you guys are looking like, yes, no. Do you guys understand that concept of how if you start, thank you, Dimitri, if you start outlining your essay, can I see yours? I'm not going to read it. Can I just hold yours up as an example? When you start writing and bulleting your college essay, your bullets turn into sentences. If you can come up with 3 sentences from your bullets, you know it's easier to put 2 more sentences in there, right? Because how many sentences create a paragraph? How many paragraphs complete an essay? So if you create 5 sentences in 5 paragraphs, you have a 5-paragraph essay. How many of you all feel like you got a good start on a college essay by outlining it just like this? Awesome. All right. Great. Thank you for your example, Dimitri. That is yours to take at the end of class. Now, as we transition, what time is it? Yes. Yes.
Okay, so from 2:30 until 3, some of you will be allowed to come back. How many of you feel like you have more questions on scholarship search or essay? Raise your hand.
We haven't gotten into the scholarship search just yet.
Okay, so I will bring around a pass at the end of your 4th block. You will pass to come back at 2:30. So we need to know about how many students to expect. You should be. I'll go look for you where you should be. All right.
Awesome. All right. Really quickly before we transition, because this is over at 10:10, my mom, just passed out a survey. 2 things because 10 minutes are going to roll very quickly. I have gifts for each one of you all for being really, really great participants. Is that once you turn in your essay, and a lot of you all already turned in your Connect forms, I have a gift for everyone. But you got to fill out your survey. The survey allows me to get feedback from you all. So when I come back and present to other young people, that I can always perfect what it is that I'm doing in front of folks. So as a token of appreciation for you completing the survey, here is a water bottle, a bottled water, a number 2 pencil with an eraser, from College Clinic, as well as an inspirational note. Each inspirational note is different because when I was in high school, like, test taking gets a little anxious and I get a little bit of anxiety with it. And it's always great to hear words of affirmation, so that is our gift to you. So make sure that you complete that out, but you'll have to complete it, walk to the back, put it in the bin, and then you'll be handed one of these. So everyone will exit out of the back door. Now, before we dismiss, I can't get this back on, but I want you guys to flip real quickly to the college funding. This sheet right here says college funding. Everybody see it? There are, we need a password. There are 10 different ways to look for college scholarship information. Now, we're going to go through this kind of quickly because you probably already know about some of this money, didn't even know it was in front of you. Number one, your city's community foundation. Well, here in Cleveland, it's called the Cleveland Foundation. That is a website with lots of information in regards to where to find local scholarship information in Cleveland, Ohio. So in the box, I want you to write Cleveland Foundation. The United Way website also has some listings about college scholarships. So you'll also write United Way. The second one is to inquire about scholarship opportunity at your parents' family members' place of employment. Now, some of you all may have parents or uncles or aunts or grandparents or whoever your caretaker is. Their job may have a scholarship opportunity. Maybe they don't know about it. You should ask them to ask. Oh, she told me 10:10. Okay, all right. I was given 10:10. Maybe it's 10:05. Let me walk through this. The next one is with your parents' occupation. Even Burger King has scholarships for young people to go to school. So don't think just because your parents work at a particular job that they may not have a scholarship opportunity. At your university as well as the college that you attend. Say, for instance, that you're going to Cleveland State University. Cleveland State University has scholarships, but also the College of Business or the College of Science, whatever major that you're going into also has money. So there's two pots of money. The General University has money, as well as whatever major that you're going into also has money. Sometimes that information is listed on the website. Sometimes you have to pick up the phone, or when you go to the college visit, you'll go to the actual department and ask, are there any scholarship opportunities? On the next page, field of study. How many of you all know what you think about majoring in? Raise your hand. Awesome. Whatever you're majoring in, put it in. Psychology scholarships, biology scholarships, put it in a search engine. Faith-based organizations, if you're a member of a church or a synagogue or whatever religious affiliation, maybe it's you, a family member, check there to see if there's scholarship opportunities. Fraternity and sororities. How many of you all know about fraternities and sororities? Awesome. They're Greek organizations. Start asking your teachers and counselors, because if they're Greek, they probably wear their paraphernalia or their letters or their colors to school. So you want to connect with them to ask them, are there any scholarship opportunities? High School Alumni Association. Check with your counselor to see if there are any scholarships that someone is given on behalf of Washington Park. Did you ask your counselor? Every counselor, as well as College Now, has a list of scholarship opportunities. And number 10, College Clinic has a $1,000 college scholarship. I wish I could show you, but I'm locked out. But we have a $1,000 college scholarship that's available for seniors only, and we have it every year. Last year, India, what was it, year before last, a student for Washington Park was one of the finalists in our college scholarship essay writing contest. And I wish I could show you her video, but we're locked out. And so these are the 10 different places to look for scholarships. This is your packet to keep. I'd like to thank you guys for showing up today. Make sure you are exiting through the back, turning in your survey, as well as picking up your gift. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.